Hi, my name is Jen Eby with the Community Action Partnership of Lancaster with the Nutrition Education Program. I'm here today with my son Landon, and how old are you, Landon? 13. And my niece Maddie. How old are you, Maddie?
4.
4. And we're going to demonstrate a recipe today called Anytime Pizza. For this recipe, you'll just need a couple ingredients. You'll want some English muffins cut in half. I bought whole wheat English muffins because the whole grain has more fiber and more vitamins. They're a little healthier for you. You'll want some pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce, some part-skim mozzarella cheese. You'll want some vegetable toppings. Today we're going to use some bell pepper, and I've actually added some turkey pepperoni. Turkey pepperoni has less fat than regular pepperoni, and optional you can add some garlic powder or Italian seasoning, oregano, Parmesan cheese, or anything you desire. Let's get started. If you have an older child making this recipe, it's a perfect recipe for a teenager, maybe a middle schooler or high school to do completely on their own. You'll want your older child to cut the tops off of the bell peppers, and then we'll be cutting it in half and removing the seeds. And eventually we'll be dicing it. So this is something an older child could do. If you're making this recipe with a younger child, you want to make sure to use a child-friendly plastic knife that's not too sharp. Maddie is working on cutting the turkey pepperoni in smaller pieces. Maddie's learned to use a sawing motion with her knife to help her cut through the turkey pepperoni. Landon is working on dicing the bell peppers. So if you have an older child, you want to talk to them about knife safety so that they're not cutting towards themselves, they're keeping their fingers out of the way, they're slicing on a cutting board so they don't cut the table. I also wanted to mention that we did wash off these peppers under running water before we began working with them. Once all your preparation is done, the first step is to take your 2 English muffins and scoop out some spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce onto the English muffins. Maddie has picked out some special spoons for her and Landon to use when they put their sauce on their English muffins. And just like Landon is using the back of his spoon to spread it around, you're welcome to do that. Or you could use the knife. That's right, Maddie, good job. You want to put sauce on both sides. Once the sauce is spread on both English muffins, you're going to take some cheese and sprinkle it on top. You can put as little or as much as you like. As I mentioned, it's a good idea to use part-skim mozzarella because it has a little less fat than regular fat cheese. That's okay. Next, you can add your topping. Today we have diced bell peppers, which add lots of vitamins, and we have some reduced fat turkey pepperoni. So go ahead and add whatever toppings you guys want on your pizza.
I'll put some peppers on this one and pepperoni on this one.
That's a great idea. Good thinking.
Both.
You could also add broccoli or spinach, mushrooms, onions, whatever veggies you like. And don't forget to lick your fingers. Now Landon and Maddie are adding a tiny bit of seasoning, a little bit of Italian seasoning and garlic.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Do you want this?
Anytime pizzas are a great thing to make in a toaster oven. They don't heat up the house, they heat up a little more quickly than the oven, but especially if your teenager is making this, you want to make sure to go over toaster oven safety. One thing is that you want to make sure there's no burnt crumbs or drips on the bottom. That would be a fire hazard. You also want to make sure that there are some hot pads handy for removing the hot food. Make sure your teenager knows that. And also, when you're done cooking, you want to make sure to unplug your toaster oven. We never leave ours plugged in. If your teenager's making this alone, you also want to let them know they should stay in the kitchen where they can keep an eye on the toaster oven while they're using it. She is now carefully putting her Anytime pizzas into the toaster oven, which is not on yet, so it's not hot. You can go ahead and close the door, and I'll help you turn it on.
Bake your anytime pizza at 350 degrees until it's heated through and the cheese is melted.
It looks like our everyday pizzas are done, so Landon is going to carefully remove them from the toaster oven and set them on a hot pad, which is another thing you want to teach your older child. Now he's using a spatula to scoop the everyday pizzas on plates. Now is the moment of truth, tasting time. You want to make sure it's not too hot, especially if you have a preschool age child. Maddie knows how to touch it with her finger to make sure it's not too hot and blow on it. How's it taste, guys?
Yummy.
Do I get thumbs up? Anytime pizzas?